Howdy guys, I'm Jason, and today on AutoEdits I have a product feature that, spoiler alert, is just going to turn into a tool recommendation. Anybody who has a YouTube channel, I'm sure, gets an inbox full of product features, things that people want to send you and have you do product features on. And I scan through a bunch of those because every once in a while you find a few gems. Like I've done that on the channel. And what I want to offer to you guys is that I don't want to waste anybody's time, especially you guys. I'm not a content creator that just needs to make content. I mean, I do, but I don't want to waste your time. If a product gets through and I'm making a video on it, it's pretty much in my wheelhouse of something that I like, or at least want to share with you guys. And this right here is the VDiagtool VD70S scan tool. And the new version of that just means that it has this wireless OBD2 port. So this thing right here is what I would call a prosumer level diagnostic tool, scan tool, data logging tool. It has a ton of pro features in it. And again, jumping right to my conclusion after using this thing for a few days, I was running that through my filter of this thing at full retail price of $529. And it still hit the recommend, like AutoEdits recommendation of a tool to add to your toolbox. And then in my interface with the person that sent me this tool, they sent me a discount link. The discount code that they sent me drops this down 122 bucks. It's $363. That actually makes this thing highly recommend, AutoEdits recommendation, in my opinion, of diagnostic tools. I spent $399 on a specialized tuner just for the Range Rover when I got that thing, so I could set the service light and do the bi-directional brake, parking brake service. And now I'm frustrated because this does all of that, yet it covers a ton more vehicles. I've already hooked it up to the Jeep. I'll show you in a moment. But again, just jumping to the end, the more I use it, the more I like it. So first off, the construction of this thing is super solid, and it is the perfect size to fit in your hand here, yet it feels durable enough. It has these rubber cushions around the outside. Let's see, at the top here, you have your USB port for charging and data transfer. So when you want to do data logging and transfer that over to a computer. One of my favorite things is to release the screen. Ready? Oh, so rewarding. So basic case out of the way, it has this cool little kickstand that I was utilizing at the beginning of this thing. Again, made out of metal, so that feels stout. You have your wireless OBD2 connector, and this thing just makes it so handy when you're sitting in the driver's seat or standing outside the vehicle to be wirelessly manipulating this thing. Just turned out to be really nice. And basically the thing runs off of modern Android tablet software, so the thing is really quite snappy and quite fast. I was actually quite pleased with how quick everything goes. And you can see here that I have my Land Rover and Jeep pre-programmed in here already, but I've actually already taken this thing once. My sister was having problems with her vehicle. I took it in the handy, very durable. This is again, pro level case that I was able to throw that in the back of the Jeep, went and actually hooked it up to my sister's car and was able to look for codes and clear some codes on her vehicle. So again, I continually am impressed with the range of vehicles that this covers and with the powers that I haven't even unlocked yet. So again, highly recommend. The features all seem really quite good. Let's jump in the Jeep and let me demonstrate the bi-directional feel of this. And there's a couple of really neat things that I can show you right off the top of why this is something I think you should add to your tool set. All right, once it's plugged in, you'll see right up here in the corner that it is good to go and connected with the OBD2 transmitter. Let's do an auto scan right out of the bat here. And now it's just going to run through all of the systems it can, or it has access to. It'll run through all of those. And it goes pretty quickly. It's kind of nice to have it feels like the processor is pretty good. Let's go in and look at this central gateway one. What do we got going on here? Right low beam control circuit, and that code got thrown and stored at 48,000 miles. This Jeep is way past that now, so we can go ahead and clear that code comfortably. This is just nice to do that. So let's clear that. So we know that that's handled. Now while we're here, we'll go in and radio antenna not connected. Oh, let's see so let's go into diagnostics and see what's going on. So again, this is showing this happened a while back. Let's clear that. And you can see here we have tire pressure monitor fault. And I know that that's a ongoing problem with my Jeep. I made the bonehead mistake of attaching the TPMS sensors when I mounted up this set of tires. I two-way taped them to the wheel, to the inside of the wheel, and no duh, they came off and have now laundry or wash cycled themselves into oblivion, and most of them don't work. So let's go into the diagnostic. Let's see the live data just to see. So you can actually look in through here and you can see through the right rear, it's not even seeing an ID. For the other ones, you can see it actually has an ID here. So that's something that I'm gonna deal with next go round. And there you can see left rear has an ID number. So it knows that there's a sensor in there, but it's just failing to read that. So while we're in here, let me show you another way to take advantage of something with the bi-directional tool here. So we're going to go into the central gateway, and this is kind of a fun thing. You go into actuation test. Now this is where having this kind of power can get very helpful in diagnosing little gremlin things. Now remember earlier when we cleared that code for right low beam? Well, let's just triple check the right low beam. We can go here and turn it on. And that just clicked it on. Here, I can even toggle it. And that's a pretty cool feature. Now let's go and play through some of these other ones here that we have access to. Let's go to, well, let's do the high beam on that one. Pretty cool. So that's kind of neat. So likewise, let's do the parking lamps just to make sure that everything's good there. Parking lamps should be on. I'm going to toggle them. And so that way they're going on and off, and I could see everything looks happy up there. Let's go radiator fan. So you're not cooling or whatever. Let's just toggle the radiator fan on 50% right now on. And there you go. The radiator fan is kicking on. So if you're overheating and you don't know if your radiator fan is kicking on, there you go. So you can now diagnose individual systems like that. So let's kick that off. Here's the next most valuable thing that this tool has that I think is important, the ABS bleeding feature here. This is something that a lot of people really get caught out by because you do a brake fluid change and you have a bit of a spongy pedal, you bleed and bleed, like you bleed quarts of brake fluid through this thing and you think you got it, but it's still a little spongy. Well, what happens is a little bubble can get caught in the ABS system, and you have to have a special tool, bi-directional tool, to be able to activate the ABS pump after you've bled everything else out of it to do the brake bleed. And let's just see if this will actually do that. Anti-lock brakes, bleed brakes, warning, this procedure will be performed after the brakes have been bled manually for a service manual, which we know that. Let's see if this will do this. Press the brake pedal and see that it's pumping my foot. Open right front bleeder, keep the brake pedal pressure and press continue. Well, we're not going to do... Oh no. So now I'm committed to doing this, but that is a really, really important tool and can confirm that this will do this to this year, the JK Wrangler. So if you have that spongy pedal that has just been driving you crazy, that's how you do an ABS bleeding. That's the thing that catches people out. Super powerful, super valuable. Now this live data thing is gonna be really handy in an upcoming video when I swap out the cold air intake that's in there. We're gonna go ahead and run a log. We're gonna record a log and we'll go in here and pick the things that I think are going to be important. So we're going to want to look at intake air temp, we will want to do the ambient temp, and some fun things like that. And that's how we're going to compare when we swap out the cold air intake, and then you could graph them out, record them, and we can compare them that way. So this is going to be a really fun use of this tool upcoming. Definitely like the tool so far, looking forward to implementing this. And again, it already helped me work on my sister's car, and it's done both the Jeep and the Range Rover. So I like the VDiag VD70S tool, AutoEdits, thumbs up, can recommend. Love this thing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, enjoy your drive. Cool. Stop recording.